Sit down now. Sit down. Man, that's a hell of a release for a young man. He's having a fantastic season. Of course, he's going to catch the ball for a touchdown after a release like that. I think these guys have been emerging as targets, as weapons. I think they're going to have a big day today against Texas.
Well, I think they're going against the best defense in the country, in my opinion, in Texas. And what Coach said is very true. Can you sustain drives? It's been very challenging for Clemson. Now they're going up against Texas. Texas doesn't give up any big plays. They're second in the nation in allowing 20 yards or more. So Clemson is going to have to find ways to hit explosives against, I think, one of the best secondaries, if not the top secondary in the country. But it starts up front in the interior. They got everybody. Vernon Broughton. Remember, they lost a couple great players last year in Sweat and Murphy. Here comes 45 now. Able to that double team, frees the linebacker to get down, then still gets involved because he's able to get off of that double team. Speed off the edge. Watch the freshman use the hands. It's not just his ability with the speed where he gets around the corner. 11, a guy to keep an eye on for Cade in those third down situations. Anthony Hill. This guy is a beast. Reminds me of Derek Johnson wearing those all whites. Look at that speed. This guy's 6'4", about 230 pounds, can chase you down sideline to sideline, kind of the enforcer in that second level. Jahdae Barron moved from that nickel slot last year, willing to move to the outside, made so many plays this year for this defense. Like I said, I think this is the best defense in college football. Be a real challenge if they have to sustain drives against these guys. I don't think you can do it.
One of the main reasons, as you said, they're in the playoffs is their defense. The defense is this. They had, including turnovers. Now another thing, they love to get after their quarterback. They had 15 sacks the last 3 games gave their quarterback. And now the offensive balance is the key. They're pass happy. They're not scoring. They got to run the ball and get balance. Now, needless to say, Texas is my pick to win the national.
Since July.
Zaxby's Packs come with 20 fingers, fries, Texas toast, and so much sauce. Who's got the sauce? Zaxby's.
It's not too late to score deals on holiday gifts at your Going Gone by Dick's Sporting Goods. Find unbeatable savings on thousands of styles from top athletic brands like Nike, Adidas, Under Armour, Jordan, CALIA, and more. Plus, score an extra 25 to 50% off select clothes and shoes. New styles arrive daily, so there's always more holiday gifts to discover. Don't miss your chance to score the season's top gifts for everyone on your list at Going Gone, your holiday deal destination.
Going to join us on the opposite side of the ball. Their big tight end story there. Tyler Warren at SMU gives up a ton of catches and yards to tight ends, and we'll break down the scouting report for Tennessee.
I got some good friends that live down the street. Got a good-looking woman with her arms around me. In a small town where it feels like home. I got everything I need.
And everything you need is a big giant noggin to stand on your head like that as we hit the top of the hour. Sun's out, chilly day. Tennessee, Ohio State. There's a lot of big orange that showed up early this morning.
Beware, the sun's out, though. I mean, this is nice.
There was stuff going on online that Tennessee had cracked the code to buy a bunch of tickets from Ohio State season ticket holders. We'll see. Home sweet home in the college football playoff. We'll break down the game. Steve Sarkisian will join us live before the Longhorns take on Clemson this afternoon and see if they can administer some culture to the Tigers as they come into Austin. And I tell you, last night it was tough. Good, strong kicking leg from Notre Dame. Bad footing, bad shoe wear choice on his part. But Pat still got $250,000.
Yeah, and I hate to break it to the people of Ohio. Tennessee fan won the raffle.
Wow. So now maybe a road field.
Welcome, everybody. I hope y'all are ready. Tennessee versus Ohio State, 8 o'clock.
We'll see. Snap the kick to high school got a chance.
Let's take a look inside the presented by Capital One with our guy, the authority, Pete Thamel. Pete, you talked to some scouts, some assistant coaches about this Tennessee-Ohio State matchup.
Well, Reese, the first thing scouts told me was that Tennessee's almost had 2 versions of their defense this season, with star linebacker Keenan Pili and without him. He obviously had a season-ending injury in mid-October. Since that time, opponents have doubled their average yards per rush. One thing coaches really stressed is they've seen late in the season Tennessee have a vulnerability to the wheel route Look for Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson to exploit that tonight. Can Tennessee's receiving core exploit Ohio State? That's another question scouts asked. We saw Oregon wear out Denzel Burke in that matchup in Eugene. The problem for Tennessee is they have a pretty pedestrian receiver core. One scout told me Tennessee doesn't have any receivers that's going to scare Ohio State. And then finally, the fascination among everyone I talk to is the psychology of this Ohio State game plan. We saw Ryan Day himself mention it up there. They need to be aggressive. They got conservative against Michigan. Tennessee obviously has similar personnel up front. How will Ohio State neutralize that defensive line will be one of the biggest subplots people will be watching tonight.
And Pete, Will Howard told me this week, hey, we just may have to accept it. We may need to get some help on James Pierce, on Josephs on the outside too. And that Michigan game, which we've talked about a lot, not necessarily just to look back and bemoan the fact that Ohio State lost to Michigan, but how it happened. Look at the field position where the Buckeyes started to begin the first half and the second half, and a big part of that was while Ohio State had great difficulty running the ball, Michigan didn't. And while they didn't score a lot, they were able to create that field position that helped them out.
Right. Those are the first 6 drives of the game, which the field position was always poor for Ohio State, which led to a turnover and a short field for Michigan to score. But this is going to be the key in the game to me. Can Ohio State's offensive line manage the inside tackles? In the Michigan game, they couldn't block the 2 inside guys, and they kept running zone plays, which means cat blocking. You block that cat, you block that cat, I block this cat, which is simple, unless your cats aren't as good as their cats. Then you got problems.
Then you need
They're going to have the same problem in this game with the inside players at Tennessee. So they need to have more gap schemes where they block down on people and double team and pull people and create some angles for their runners because they have really good skill at the running back position, and it will offer opportunities to get the ball on the perimeter to their skill guys.
As you know, Coach, when you peel back that Michigan game, let's make it very clear. Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant, they're not only big, but...
Wir müssen nicht allein sein, um uns einsam zu fühlen. Manchmal sind wir online verbunden und doch isoliert. Und manchmal fühlen wir uns sogar unter Freunden fremd und unverstanden. Jeder 4. Mensch in Deutschland fühlt sich manchmal einsam. Lasst uns gemeinsam hinschauen, zuhören, nachfragen. Denn Einsamkeit ist mehr als Alleinsein. Mehr dazu unter kkh.de/Einsamkeit.
But he can spread the ball all over the field. But I don't think they're going to go vertical a lot. I think they're going to run a lot of short routes, intermediate routes, and then Dylan Sampson, though. He may be the most talented tailback this Ohio State Buckeyes defense has seen all season long. So I think that combination, short routes, quick routes, especially in weather like this, like we saw it last night, getting the ball out of the quarterback's hands quick, let the guys run with it, and then let that open up your running game. That may be something that Josh Heupel tries to use today against the Buckeyes defense.
We've talked about it all year with this Tennessee team. It's like we remember the Hendon Hooker Heupel offense and the UCF Heupel offense. This offense is different. Nico Iamaleava obviously has an incredibly talented arm, but hasn't been able to hit everything, especially with the wideouts they have. They are a pounding team, which is why when you think about an SEC team having to travel to a Big Ten country, play in the cold, they seem like the most suited team for it with how they play. We shall see. And for Ohio State, if they can protect Will Howard can do everything. Once he gets that happy feet, then things don't really work out as well.
Yeah, the big thing for Tennessee to me is when they're really good on offense, they can attack you in the seams down the field. Because they force you to play an 8-man front on defense, which is middle of the field coverage, then they hit you in the seam.
Yeah, that's the thing. And Tennessee hasn't thrown it as often as usual. They're running about 53% of the time. Their pass percentage in terms of number of times they throw the ball, bottom 20 in the country. See what Josh Heupel's been able to do with this offense over the course of his career. Outstanding offensive coach. Head ball wire.
Bennett, let's go, man. Have a great day. Get better today. Let's go, Jess. Get up on your toes. Stay on your insteps. There you go. Hey, let's go, man. Hey, we're starting inside and then moving outside today. Hey, everybody wants to win on game day. To win on game day, we got to win right here, right now. Everybody got me? Let's go have a damn work day. Here we go. Got to get outside. Cover 2. Got to get outside.
Try to bring a little joy to the Hill if they can get a victory here. ESPN Experience is excited to announce this Beyond the Rose Ultimate VIP Experience at the Rose Bowl, presented by Prudential, one of the great venues in all of sport. You might wind up there on New Year's Day. You can just get 50-yard line seats, scan that QR code, head to the location, on the location website, and get your spot. The King and I. See who can be king in Happy Valley today. And A.J. Hawk. Beat A.J. Hawk. 2 hands on the ball. Make sure nobody strips him from behind. He'll be our celebrity guest picker coming up in a bit.
He has once wiped 100 times.
What? Wiped what?
Yeah, 100 times. I don't even know how that's possible.
I looked around when SMU ponied up and said, oh, crap. Here come the billionaires. And there's a lot of pent-up fun to be had. Well, SMU has had some fun. They're the only team in the country with 7 guys who have 300 yards receiving. One of those guys is Brashard Smith, their running back, who averages over 6 yards per touch, playing running back for the first time after moving from Miami, where he was a receiver. Kevin Jennings has used all of these guys brilliantly, particularly in the intermediate game. And it is Jennings' emergence that's the biggest reason that those billionaires are ready to have some of this pent-up fun.
Kevin is special. Like, he changed the game himself.
Jennings, touchdown!
What makes him hard to defend is just he makes you defend the whole field. You know, he can throw the deep ball, he can throw the intermediate game, he can get out of his hands quick.
You know, we can run the ball really good, we can throw the ball really good, improvise, and the speed of our offense is crazy. So
they're a fast team, their tempo, they have a great offense, but I think it's just like any other week, any other team. You got to identify their guys and do what we have to do.
Kobe King delivering the pain.
Kobe leading the whole defense as the Mike linebacker and the captain of our team. You know, he really gets the engine going for them on defense.
Our defense is ready just like any other game. Like, we trust each other enough to do our job as well as we can, play efficiently and play the way we need to play within this game.
It's limiting explosive plays, it's creating turnovers, and then at the end of the day, it's about limiting points and yards.
Penn State has done that very well in most cases. That's the first game of the triple header today. SMU at Penn State. The Ponies getting in as the last at-large team after coming up just short in the ACC championship game. And let's go out to Happy Valley now.
A powerful, user-friendly online shop specifically tailored for industrial and technical professionals. Let's take a closer look at Lloyd's and how they do it. Hi, I'm Marie, product manager at Shopware, and today I show you how Lloyd's intuitive navigation, advanced search capabilities, and filtering options make it easy to locate exactly what you need. Each product page provides essential technical specifications and data sheets, giving customers the information they need to make well-informed decisions. Lloyd's also prioritize customer support with accessible contact points and inquiry forms, simplifying the whole after-sales process. With clear organization, detailed technical information, and strong support features, Lloyd's delivers an exceptional user experience tailored to technical professionals.
Life is expensive. Tools don't have to be. That's why over 75 million customers have made Harbor Freight America's #1 tool store. With over 1,500 locations nationwide, Harbor Freight offers the widest selection of tools at values that can't be beat. Don't take our word for it. Come see for yourself at a Harbor Freight store near you. So whatever you do it for less at Harbor Freight.
Not everyone's life runs in straight lines. At Sophia, we get that.
Our flexible, affordable, self-paced college-level courses help thousands of people just like you complete their degrees for only $99 a month. Find your courses. Complete them at your own pace, anytime, anywhere. Submit to your school for credits. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep learning. With Sophia, you got this.
It seems like you're going to handle the weather okay, so that's not going to be an issue. But you have a running back, Rashard Smith, who brings so much to the offense. Talk a little bit about him and how special he is as a player.
Yeah, Rashard is a very dynamic player. You know, this is his first year playing running back, which is crazy. Crazy to see him doing the things on the field that he's doing. So, you know, we can split him out wide. We can keep him in the backfield. And he can do crazy things with the ball in his hand. You know, he's a human highlight reel. So, very excited to watch that guy play today.
Hey, Kevin, you talked a little bit about the crowd. Just looking at your schedule this year, you guys have been on the road. You were at Nevada, at Louisville, at Duke, at Stanford, obviously at Penn State in front of 100,000. Not only is challenging, but specifically for you, talk about some of the challenges dealing with an up-tempo, obviously at Penn State.
The Bucs be stopped at home by the Big Orange. Let's see if there's that much orange inside the stadium. There will be some burnt orange and plenty of it as Hookham gets ready to take on Clemson. Sark and the Horns coming up. He'll join us in a bit. We made the joke when we were here earlier this year that that's the way they're going to have a night home game. They have the Blue Jackets at Ohio Stadium, and now they have one in the college football playoff. Tennessee and Ohio State, the nightcap. SMU, Penn State first over on TNT, and in the middle it'll be Clemson and Texas in Austin. Kickoff at 4 o'clock in DKR. No Tangi heats a goalpost. The reference being, obviously, at Neyland Stadium. Tear him down, throw him in the Tennessee River. Oh,
look at this. I'm telling you, there's a Tennessee crowd here for College Game Day right now.
It is?
I don't think we expected. There was a Desmond Howard chant this morning in Columbus, Ohio.
Blew my mind.
Did you guys hear what they did to Apple Maps, too? They changed the location and made Ohio State Neyland North.
Yeah.
Did they really?
Oh, yeah.
It's changed back now.
Missed our marriage to be here.
I like these
Mortgage,
dudes,
bro. It's like mortgage.
Sorry, I couldn't see the screen. Love that. Go ahead and let that thing go under. Foreclosure.
Maybe kick a field goal.
Yeah.
Right there. By 50.
You never know. All right, Dylan Sampson. You know Dylan Sampson has set the Tennessee single-season record, 1,485 yards rushing. Now, this Ohio State defense has been sensational, but they've allowed 2 100-yard rushers on the season, and both times, those are the games the Buckeyes lost.
And Ohio State's defense stands tall. They'll take over.
They run everything at a high level. They're fundamentally sound from top to bottom.
It's tough to create a bunch of space to win consistently. You have to be able to run the football in this game.
Sampson off the ground. Touchdown. He breaks the score record.
They obviously have a really good running back, C player of the year. They're very well balanced and they can hit you in a lot of different angles.
They fly to the ball, don't let up too many yards. Their core is very good.
They're really talented, but as long as we're tied into our rules and our principles, it'll be tough to stop.
Make sure you run back and get lined up because they're going to go fast.
They're very strong. They're built inside out. We have to make sure we're playing really good situational football. And it starts with getting that first win against Tennessee.
Got 9 hours and a half, a little bit less than that until it kicks off on ABC. Kirk's going to be calling the game, and the pace and the tempo, if Tennessee is successful on early downs, will be a big key for them.
Yeah, and we all bow down to Pete Thamel, the authority on a lot of his information. He said earlier that scouts he's talked to not necessarily look at this Tennessee group of receivers and thinking they're a standout group. Calling a lot of these Tennessee games, Brew McCoy, Dante Thornton, Chris Brazo, Squirrel White, even the tight ends, Kitzelman. I think it's a pretty formidable group and a good enough group. I think they've been a little bit slowed as far as their approach from who they've been in the past because of the young quarterback. So they'll stretch you sideline to sideline, make you declare your numbers, and then they've been running the football because teams don't want to give Nico those vertical seams when it's one-on-one. So that'll be a challenge for Ohio State. Are they going to have to overcommit the numbers? The guy that you know very well that'll have to have the game of his life, I think, is Caleb Downs. Because of this style of offense, he's going to be coming down to fill the alley. He's going to have to be back and play discipline and back in against the play-action pass. So how he plays will be a very big key for Ohio State.
Well, Caleb's not the only one. I think both safeties have to be very involved in the run game. Ohio State likes to play two deep safeties so they don't give up a lot of big plays. But that makes their front guys play a gap and a half up front to stop the run. And Sampson is really a good back, and they're going to have to stop the run and make Nico beat them, I think, if they're going to have a chance to win this game.
Yeah, Coach, I think there's a misconception when you look at the Tennessee offense and Josh Heupel. People think he's going to spread you out and want to throw the ball, but they do want to run the ball. And Dylan Sampson is one of the best running backs in the FBS. He's number 8 at 123 yards per game and averages just under 6 yards per carry. Let me show you what Ohio State's defense is going to have to deal with when Tennessee is on offense. My man, Dylan Sampson, one of the leading rushers in college football. Look, he likes to use his speed. Now, they're going to pull the left tackle and the H-back. Perfect crease right in the B-gap. You're talking about downhill, one-on-one with the safety. He takes the corner because he likes his speed. Ohio State have to make sure that guys, the edge players, can set the edge, and he can't get around the corner. Now, if he's in between the tackles, he's going to use his speed to power. Dip that shoulder, use his leg drop, and run right through your tackle. Now, out in space, he's not a shake and bake type of guy. He's like your washing machine. He's going to hit the spin cycle. Spin right here, spin again. I guarantee you, you're going to see Dylan Sampson spin about 3 times tonight against the Buckeyes once he get out in space.
Yeah, he's fun to watch. And you talk about, the pooling and everything like that. If you saw the wide receivers, they're blocking downfield.
Yeah.
You're talking about all the way buy-in. And when you have buy-in from everybody, it's a beautiful thing because Heupel will put 4 wide receivers within 3 yards of both sidelines.
Yep.
And you talk about Caleb Downs having to come in and fill and hit and everything like that.
Yeah.
Jack Sawyer also going to have to be very communicative.
Yeah.
Going to have to be very on top of it. That's something you got to deal with. How many do we have in the box? How many do we have for the wide receivers?
Then you go the tempo.
Are we changing in the middle of the drive, or are we staying where we're at? And if you stay, that's exactly what they want from that Tennessee offense.
But as athletic as Ohio State's defense is, these spread type of offenses make it more difficult for these DBs to make these plays in space because there's more room for the back to make a miss, and that ball bounces outside, and they've got very difficult tackles to make.
And I think Nico's a very different quarterback today, like any quarterback, from where he was against NC State, how they've utilized him. They've taken a lot off of him. Josh Heupel, to his credit, compared to when he coached against you and he's taken all these shots with a Hendon Hooker, he relied more on the defense and Dylan Sampson to run the football. Nico has grown through that process. I think he comes into this game in a really good spot mentally to deal with the crowd and just deal with the Ohio State
What's
defense.
Nico's last name?
Iamaleava.
Nailed it.
Yeah.
I saw you both do that. Nico.
Nick talked about that open field tackling. You talked about spin cycle. You know he went to the same high school as Eddie Lacy. He used to put people in the spin cycle every now and then.
And he broke all his records.
Broke all of his
records at the high school. We talked plenty about Tennessee's offense, but also Ohio State's offense. I thought it was interesting to hear Coach Day talk about that, how they need balance. They need balance.
Right.
Jeremiah Smith's the guy who's only had 6 catches in the last 2 games. Obviously, the issues against Michigan. Actually, 9.5.
Okay, and what's great
yards.
about that is Michigan rolled coverage over top. They were able to stay light up front because their defensive line was so good in that game. Tennessee can play that way, but a lot of times they'll put that safety in the middle, leave their corners on islands. Will they do that against Jeremiah Smith and Abuka?
Yeah.
Well, I think they've kind of left Smith in the same spot, which makes it a little bit easier to double a guy. I bet you they move him around today, so it makes it more difficult.
Yeah. Well, see, one of the things about this playoff is you don't see these matchups very often. This is only the second time that Tennessee and Ohio State have ever played. They played in a bowl game where Ohio State, claims to this day that Tennessee was guilty of some malfeasance because of some improper footwear that led to a victory in that game.
Monsoon.
Here is Ryan McGee.
Monsoon.
Yeah, it was.
I was there.
Yeah.
It was blue.
Nice and wet.
Yeah.
Ryan McGee looks back on the last meeting.
It was brutal.
Guys, the most remarkable aspect of this first round of the college football playoff to me is all these amazing teams, they've barely played. In the situation of Ohio State and Tennessee, inarguably, two of the top 10 programs in the history of college football, only played one time before tonight, January 1st, 1996. I know. I was there.
If you ever want to agitate an entire fan base, visit Columbus, Ohio, and say these words: 1996 Citrus Bowl cleats. January 1st, 1996, Orlando.
Happy New Year, everybody!
A top 5 matchup and first ever meeting between Ohio State and Tennessee. The Buckeyes took the field behind newly crowned Heisman Trophy winner Eddie George. The Vols were marched down that field by sophomore QB Peyton Manning.
The story of this CompUSA Florida Citrus Bowl has been the weather.
Problem was, that field was a mud pit. There was torrential rain. It was also kind of cold. Trust me, I was there. One of 75,000 saturated under soused scarlet and orange ponchos. The football was like a green bowling ball. George struggled to get his footing. Everyone did.
Now here's the problem with the footing. See the water?
Except, curiously, many of the Vols. Turns out they were wearing really tall cleats, like too tall.
The spikes are being...
Some people think the Zaxby Sensation salad is too delicious to be a salad. That's why we call it a salad.
I'm always ready for an adventure in my Tundra, but searching for the right vehicle shouldn't be an adventure. It should be relaxed and comfortable. That's why Allison and I talk about Toyota Knoxville a lot. Whether you're shopping around or in the middle of your purchase, or even years after, no one takes care of you like Toyota Knoxville.
Right now at Toyota Knoxville, we'll pay your interest for 6 years on a new 2025 Toyota Tundra. Visit Knoxville's largest volume Toyota dealer, Toyota Knoxville, today.
Checked by the officials.
Soccer spikes that mined just enough traction out of that Florida New Year's dirt suit. George labored to reach the 100-yard mark, while Jay Graham dashed for 154.
And he plays Graham. It's Graham. Touchdown, Tennessee!
The Buckeyes had 3 soggy turnovers over their final 4 waterlogged drives. Tennessee won 20-14. Cleat measurements became mandatory the following season, and the 1996 Citrus Bowl title went home to Knoxville, carried there via cleats as tall as Rocky Top.
All right, I say in the piece it was mandated that cleats were measured after that Citrus Bowl. That's sort of true. They were supposed to be measured in the games prior to that. There's this little metal tool that the officials were supposed to carry around. They didn't like having that thing hanging off their belt. So after that game, a very smart equipment manager came up with the solution. It's his little card, kind of like this business card, that had an actual ruler on it, along with maybe some helpful hints for some rules.
Ryan's always on top of those rules. His dad, Jerry, was a great legendary official in college football for a number of years. It was a great memory, great game, and I enjoyed hearing Brent. Let's go down to Jackaroo. Jack used to wear a hat a lot like that sometimes, too.
I actually did sideline back in those days for Ohio State and for their radio calls. And that rain, I've never seen rain like that. But it was a big controversy. Tennessee with the cleats, but Tennessee, just one of those days. You know, that was when the SEC versus the Big Ten. Ohio State can't beat the Big Ten. That's where it started in games like that.
Well, I used to use Belichick's coaching point all the time when the players, when we play on the bad field. He'd just say, get some shoes that work. So you can't really blame the players for getting some shoes that work, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Figure it out.
That's right.
It was sloppy.
I mean, I don't really see what the big deal is, man. Get whatever shoes you're going to wear,
that's right.
wear them.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Guys will abuse that with like 8-inch.
Well, I understand.
You know,
but you
that's
also didn't
football.
run the risk. You got a whole ACL situation.
All right, little
Klubnik and Ewers square off. They've met in high school championship games to meet in a playoff game today. And, oh, no. It's football time in Tennessee.
Are we going to make a kick?
That's J.D. Orville. out of Virginia. He's a Tennessee fan. He snapped and kicked in high school. This guy's a wizard. I don't know how you do that.
First time we've had a visitor.
It's like,
making a kick, chance to make a kick.
I was the first person ever snapped it himself.
Saturday morning for the college football playoffs. The King and Neva North. That's what they have dubbed Ohio Stadium, though I'm sure those donning scarlet and gray will have plenty to say about that. Geico Fan Cam showing you the best fans in college football. We've got some hardy souls out here. You know, the legendary voice of the Vols, John Ward, when a touchdown was scored for Tennessee, would often say, "Give him 6." But instead, we're going to try to give him 3 and maybe give him a whole lot of money. Pat, what do you think?
Reese, it feels like it's possible. Obviously, the weather's a little bit chilly, but there isn't as much wind as there was last night.
That's right.
And this ground will be nowhere near as slick. Awful slickness last night for Chris Daly. Now we have J.D. Lovell. J.D., did you expect the amount of Tennessee fans that have showed up here in Columbus? You guys have taken over game day here.
We travel, baby. Absolutely. Invade the shoe.
Okay.
Invade the shoe.
Okay, JD, you're from Virginia. You're a Tennessee fan. The information I was given about you is you snapped and kicked.
Yeah.
I didn't know how that was possible. Can you explain that a little bit?
Mainly snapped until one time our kicker got hurt, and I kicked it once. That was it.
How'd you do?
Not good.
Oh, you missed. Yeah. You're a completely failed kicker.
Fail.
Okay, you're wearing boots. Will you be going straight on, or will you be
straight on toe, steel toe, baby?
Okay, what do you do for a living? You look like you got a good beard. You look like a good boy.
I work at Framatome, Nuclear Energy.
Wow. Whoa. What's going on with these drugs? Never mind. There's a lot of stuff. This is Kirk Herbstreit. He's going to be holding for you. Have you ever said anything terrible about kickers before?
No, you're a nice guy.
I'm a Bears fan.
Okay, all right. So you're a Bears fan, a Tennessee fan from Virginia. You work in Nuclear Energy. You could hit for $250,000 right here. And also, I believe there was some hurricane, disaster in Tennessee. So if you make this kick, we'll give $250,000 to Tennessee hurricane relief as well. That's awesome. $500,000 on the line, JD. All you need to do is take that boot right there that might have a little nuclear energy on it, and you will win for not only yourself but everybody. Kirk, how do you feel about it?
I'm suspect.
Oh no, he's got no belief in you, JD.
And it has most to do with the galoshes.
But he's going straight on.
Okay. All right.
This guy works at Nuclear Energy. That feels like that's cheating, doesn't it? J.D. Lovell from Virginia. Big beard, big boot, Peters in tow. 500. Oh, this guy sucks. Holy hell. This guy's the worst we've ever seen. Just took out the Ohio State cheerleaders. Ohio State got 80. Hey, that's that Big Ten football. That's Big Ten football.
I just threw that off it.
All right, JD, I want to let you. JD, he's going to match. Kirk Herbstreit's going to match here. $250,000 to you. $250,000 to hurricane relief from me and from Kirk. $1 million here, JD Lovell. And please don't hurt any more people. Good luck, sir.
Why does it always go left?
Well, that's because they're righties. They hit off the inside.
Always goes left.
Yeah, if I were you, I'd be trying to go straight through there, JD. JD, you had any cocktails this morning, or are we 100% sober?
100% sober.
No excuses. All right, got it. Okay, all right. I thought maybe we could say the guy boozed up. Can't see a straight line.
Everybody's ready?
This is not 33 yards either. This is the shortest field goal we've had all year. $500,000 from me. $500,000 from Herbstreit.
No.
$500,000 to hurricane relief. $500,000 to you, Mr. Nuclear Energy guy. We're gonna need you, okay? Seems like. Can you make a kick? Hey! Yep. This guy sucks at kicking, but we appreciate the hell out of you, JD. Hey, buddy. Ohio State fans are happy you failed. Is that an indicator on how tonight goes? Oh, no, J.D. Lovell. We appreciate you. Back to you, Reese. Pockets are clean the last 2 days.
Boy, I'm going to tell you, that Herb Street is a man who play a game of chance, isn't he? He saw that first kick, he's like, I'll give you $1.5 million. No shot. No problem. But maybe a little bit of a chance for SMU and Happy Valley. That is the first of the 3 college football playoff games today. Kevin Jennings, we talked to him earlier in the show. His emergence, he's 9th in yards per dropback. He has had some turnover issues this year, but the Mustangs have played much better since he has emerged. As you got to make some travel plans. Sometimes you have a little off-schedule thing. A lot of choices out there. You can go by wagon, train. You can hop on a bus. Maybe you can ride a bicycle. Or maybe you hop on Wheels Up. Celebrity guest picker A.J. Hawk will make sure Wheels Up gets our guest picker to the show. Time to make the picks late. College football playoff first round, a triple header will start at noon on TNT and Max, SMU and Penn State, Clemson and Texas, and then the nightcap on ABC. Football time in Tennessee, taking on Ohio State. This afternoon in Austin, burnt orange against orange pants. Clemson wearing those orange breeches they wear for championship-type games, and that's what this is with the Tigers getting into the playoff as the lowest seed champions of the ACC. The great Pete Thamel is back. Longhorns coming here, Pete, with perhaps some injury things to answer.
Yeah, well, one big potential loss today for Texas is wide receiver Isaiah Bond. He's obviously their starting slot, a projected first-round pick. He's unlikely to play, and he certainly isn't going to contribute significantly. I've been told he may try and warm up today for that Clemson game, but did not expect him to have an impact on the game plan. Look for Ryan Wingo, the 5-star freshman, to get his time to shine today, Reese. And there's better news for the Longhorns on the offensive line. Kelvin Banks obviously missed the SEC title game with an ankle sprain. He's been practicing limited this week, but I've been told he's going to be back and he's going to be ready to go for the Longhorns. He's obviously been that starter at left tackle for 3 seasons. It will be a big lift to Texas to have him protecting Quinn Ewers' blind side today.
All right, Pete, Quinn Ewers going to look across the field. He's going to see a very familiar face, guy he competed against in high school, leading Clemson. And Cade Klubnik, Quinn Ewers, both just legendary high school players in the state of Texas. And since the start of last season, their numbers also very, very similar. Both have had some turnover issues from time to time. Jen Latta joins us now for the latest chapter in this showdown between these two signal callers. Jen?
Yeah, that's right, Reese. You mentioned it. When Clemson faces Texas this afternoon, Austin native Cade Klubnik will be back in his hometown facing some familiar foes. You see, he knows Quinn Ewers very well. The two played against each other when they were kids. They played against each other in Elite 11. They even go to the same Texas church. But perhaps no connection between the two is more talked about in the Lone Star State than when these two faced off in the 2020 6A Division I High School State Championship game. Ewers then facing his current teammate Michael Taft and Klubnik in a game they still talk about. Here's a look back at that incredible matchup.
Texas high school football is everything. The schools, the communities, the parents, the kids, everybody knows what Friday Night Lights is.
It's special in the sense of the community that comes around every single game. You dream to be playing on that varsity team. The whole city shows out. There's nothing like it. The talent, the camaraderie, fans, it's the best.
It's the Westlake Chaparrals against the South Lake Carolina Dragons.
The 2020 Texas State Championship game at Dallas Cowboys Stadium.
So much hype. 2 prominent teams. It was the Dodge Bowl. Our Coach Dodge versus South Lake's Coach Dodge.
We were the first Texas high school father and son duo that had ever played each other in a state championship.
Quarterback for my dad's team was Cade Klubnik. Obviously dynamic, athlete, accurate passer, scared the crap out.
There's DIY, and there's doing it yourself. It's the difference between being creative and being a creator. Between a homemade recipe and a household name. Between a daydream and a dream job. It's your business, your hard work. You do it yourself. Create your website on Wix.
baited the out route, act like I was jumping it.
I didn't think he was going to be able to jump that high, man.
Outfield,